I want to talk about being the black sheep in your family and how the black sheep in your family is the realest one in the family. When you're the black sheep, you are the realest one in your family. And you get a lot of pushback because of this, right? You get a lot of hate, a lot of negative comments, pushback. A lot of people simply don't like you just because you're the black sheep, because you're different, right? Because you're real. You're the realest one in your family. You tell the truth, right? You don't sugarcoat anything. You don't have a problem with calling things out and telling people the things that they need to hear instead of things that they want to hear, right? And some people simply don't like that. They don't like that you can call them out on their stuff. They don't like that you can see right through them, right? When you're the black sheep in your family, you can you can see all the things that your family members do, and you can see everybody's negative traits. You know everybody's flaws, right? You know the things that everybody needs to work on, right? But a lot of people simply can't handle the fact that you can call that out, and they don't like that. They don't like the fact that when you come around, it's like you force them to self reflect. You force them to look within. You force them to look at themselves and acknowledge their negative traits, acknowledge their flaws, right? And the things that they need to work on. But some people, they don't want to accept that. They don't want to take any type of accountability at all, right? So what they do is a lot of them, they like to project on you. They like to project negative traits on you. They like to project lies about you, right? Things that are not true about you, right? And you get a lot of pushback, a lot of hate because you are the black sheep, because you are the realest one in your family, right? When all you're trying to do is really just break generational curses, right? That's all you're trying to do. You just want everybody to be better, become better, to change, right? In a positive way. You're just trying to break certain cycles. But some people in your family, they don't want to accept that. They're not ready, right? They're not ready for that change. Some people they want to stay one way. They don't want to change. They just want to be stuck in a bubble and they refuse to change, right? And because of this, you deal with a lot of trauma. You deal with a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, right? From all the pushback that you're getting from your family for being the black sheep in your family, people mistreating you for no reason. You feel like you're isolated from everybody else. You feel like you're different than everybody else. You get treated differently, right? You feel like your family completely disowns you and you just feel like you're not part of your family, right? And you feel like you have nobody to, nobody that you can relate to talk to, right? Because they treat you like you don't belong. They treat you like you're the villain of the family, right? And that's the crazy thing. It's like you're the one that's being treated like the villain when there's actual villains in the family that never gets any pushback, right? The bullies, the ones who are constantly negative, right? The ones who are causing the generational curses and repeating the cycles and causing the trauma onto others, right? They never get any pushback. Nobody ever says anything to them in the family. But for some reason, how are you the villain, right? You're not the one that's causing the hurt. You're not the one that's, being negative and saying all these bad things and, causing all this pain onto other people in your family. But for some reason, you are the villain, right? The actual bully is not the villain, but you are the villain, right? For some reason, you're not the victim. They don't treat you like the victim, even though they're the ones that's causing the pain onto you. They don't treat you like the victim, right? It's like they want you to continue to accept the hurt and the pain and not say anything, right? They like to constantly poke and poke you and poke you, and they expect you to not speak up. They expect you to just remain quiet. And the minute you explode, the minute you call them out, the minute you say something, right? You become the bad guy. You're the problem, right? Isn't that something? You're the problem, not them, right? And the minute you call them out, they want to be the victim, right? They have that victim mentality. They are the victim and not you, right? And all you're doing is you're just being real. You're just being honest. You're not sugarcoating anything. You're pretty much holding up the mirror to their face and saying, hey, look, this is what you do. You need to change. You need to be better, right? You need to change certain things about yourself. You're trying to break the generational curses. You acknowledge what needs to be changed in the family, right? But some people, they're not ready for that. They're not ready for that change, and they want to stay the same, right? They want to stay the same. The fact that you're calling it out, you're wrong. They make it seem like you are wrong, right? Isn't that something? They don't like when you come around, right? It's like they get bothered. Your family members, they don't like you for some reason. They constantly mistreat you when you come around, right? They make it seem like something is wrong with you and that you just don't belong, and maybe you just think differently than everybody else. Maybe you just move differently. Maybe you're just into different things. Maybe you just have a certain mindset that's different than everybody else, right? But a lot of people don't like to think outside the box. And when you come around, you may bring a different perspective on things, right? Because they're so used to thinking one way, you make them think outside of the box. You bring a different perspective, and they don't like that, right? They treat you like a black sheep. They treat you differently. So they may say things like, oh, why does it feel like you never agree with us? Or why is it always you? Why do you always have to, challenge us? Or why can't you just agree like everybody else? Why can't you do things like all of us, right? But the thing is, when you're the black sheep and you're the realest one in the family, you're a free thinker, right? You think for yourself. You don't like operating in group think and feel like if your family moves one way, you got to do the same thing. So you are a force to be reckoned with. When you are the black sheep, you are the realest one, right? It doesn't mean that you're perfect. It doesn't mean that, just because you say things like it is, it doesn't mean that you're being disrespectful about it, right? You just simply don't sugarcoat things, right? And you have some people in your family who they're just not ready to accept certain things about themselves, right? And they're not ready to change. And when you come around, they get uneasy. They feel irritated. They feel intimidated, right? Because they know that you're not gonna, be fake. They know that you're not gonna lie. They know when you come around, you're gonna tell things like it is, right? But protect your peace. If you gotta, block certain family members, if you gotta block their phone number, block them on social media, if you have to keep them at a distance, right? Have a high and by type of relationship, right? To protect your peace and to protect your sanity, then do that. There's times where you want something for somebody more than they want it for themselves, right? Because you love that person so much and you care about that person so much, and you see that person has potential to change and be better and become better, right? But you want it more than they want it for themselves. And when you sit back and you just watch them and you just see how they refuse to change, refuse to take any accountability, you gotta accept that. Like, sometimes you just have to be like, you know what? It is what it is. Like, you've done your duty, right? You've done your due diligence. You spoke to them. You called them out respectfully. You told them that, I love you enough to let you know the truth about yourself and things that you should probably work on. And they reject it, right? They don't want to change. And you have to be okay with that. So some people, you just have to let them go. You just got to let them go. No matter how much you love them, no matter how much you care about them, right? You either, you can let them go or keep them at a distance, right? Doesn't mean that you don't love them. Doesn't mean that you don't care about them. But you have to protect your peace and protect your energy, because certain energies will bring you down and drain you, right? Especially if they're constantly projecting on you. They're treating you like the black sheep, right? Just for you being the realest one in the family. So protect your peace and protect your sanity, all right? I hope this video was helpful. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next video.